Hi, and welcome to week three's edition of the 2022 Clips of the Week. As always, all fouls and clips have been reviewed by our state rules interpreter, Kevin Hatfield. Any questions regarding these clips or rulings, please reach out to Kevin. As a reminder, our goal is to work towards one rule, one mechanic, and one interpretation. So these clips are not to embarrass or highlight any wrongdoing by an official, crew, association player, or a team. So with that said, let's get to this week's Clips of the Week. We're going to see a few different punt plays here. This first one, the crew did an excellent job with their mechanics on this. Notice the referee going to the wide side of the field, the back judge also going to the wide side of the field, which is what we want. The short side wing, the line judge in this case, will release. We want them to release after the snap has been possessed. So that's just a clarification on the mechanic. There's no need to rush down there. Make sure the snap is handled properly. Then you could release and split the difference between the line of scrimmage and your back judge to preserve a good angle to officiate from. The wide side wing, the head linesman in this case, will release once the kick is past the line of scrimmage. And then our umpire will spin with the ball. And this works well because then we get multiple angles to officiate this play from. So let's watch the action against the receiver. So we certainly get a hard hit. It's also an early hit. And we have two different fouls here. And we're going to see two different flags. So we certainly have a flag for kick catching interference because a member of the kicking team was early and hit the returner before the ball had arrived. We also have unnecessary roughness against a defenseless receiver. So remember, that's a point of emphasis this year. It's not just on a offensive pass. We're also talking about the defenseless receiver on a punt. So excellent job by the crew here, and they'll continue to officiate this play until it's done. So really excellent job by the crew here to catch this foul. So here's another play, and again, the point of emphasis this year being on the defenseless receiver. That also includes scrimmage kicks. So let's watch the action against the returner here. So in this case, the action, the contact against the returner isn't as early as the other one. So we might not have kick catching interference, but we do have unnecessary roughness against the kicking team player. We don't have an opportunity for the returner here to become a runner and to protect themselves. So we should have a flag here for unnecessary roughness against a defensive player. Then also look at number 35 here. He's standing over his opponent on the ground. He's kind of flexing, kind of strutting. And this, at a minimum, should be a talking to, but would also support an unsportsmanlike flag here. So another punt play here, and let's watch the action on the ball around a member of the return team here, number 22, highlighted there. And they're going to be blocked into that ball. And so as a reminder, if K blocks a member of the return team into the ball, that touching is ignored. And we're going to see the ball is recovered here by a member of the K team around the 44 or 45 yard line. It should be 1st and 10 at this spot. This is not a ball that belongs to K after the end of this play because we're going to ignore that touching by R, by rule. So here's another punt play. And we'll notice first off, the referee's not on the wide side of the field. So remember, referee, regardless of what leg the punter is using, we're going to be on the wide side of the field to mirror the back judge. Again, the short side wing will release once the snap is handled. Wide side wing will release once the kick has crossed the line of scrimmage. Something we've noticed this year is the use of two returners sometimes by punt return teams. If you get this type of formation and they're stacked like this, the wing that's coming down after the snap is handled, you should take the more shallow returner, and the back judge will stay with the deeper returner. We want to watch what the player who is circled does here. So we're going to get a wave of the hands, and this isn't down low. This is up high. This is above their shoulders. And so this is a fair catch signal, and it's an invalid fair catch signal, and it's at the 45. So that's the spot of enforcement. But what we're going to see here is the ball is going to hit a member of the return team who picks it up, and we should have blown that play dead at that point in time, but we didn't. So this should be going back to the 40 after penalty enforcement, 1st and 10 for the return team. But the crew lets this one play out. And we have excellent hustle here by the wing, who's going to rule that at this point, the runner loses the ball and the ball goes out the back of the end zone for a touchback. So excellent hustle. And we're going to see that call at the end of this clip. We don't see the referee, and they could just be off frame. But reminder, on long returns like this, we'd like the referee to be the first one back to the goal line to be able to rule on a potential touchdown or touchback. But this play should have been dead once it was recovered by a member of the return team. Okay, so that's enough for punts for now. This is just a clip to show an example of how the wings are responsible for ineligibles downfield. So we see that we're snapping from the 31 going in. We have our expanded neutral zone to the 29. During this play, the quarterback's going to come out towards the line judge's side. So they have a lot going on over here. The umpire is not coming up to the line of scrimmage. That's not their responsibility anymore. While they can certainly rule on ineligibles, they're not primary on that like the wings are. So we have the wing at the top of the screen here, the head linesman, who really doesn't have a lot to watch here. That action's going away from them. And pretty much all they can see are the back of a lot of jerseys, including 5 players from A who are beyond the line of scrimmage. And it appears at least 2 or 3 of those are ineligible. So just a reminder to wings that you are responsible for ineligibles downfield. And if you have a play like this that goes away from you, this is an easy pickup, and you should be able to watch for this. So on this pass play here, we're going to see a defensive player who kind of starts to swim upstream or go against the grain. And that should be a red flag for us. Anytime we see a player kind of going against the grain, not a lot of good things happen. And so the back judge here, their antenna definitely goes up, and they're going to pick up a blindside block there by a member of the defensive team. So this isn't pass interference because the pass hasn't been released yet, but this is a blindside block. So excellent job here by the back judge. And you'll notice a second flag comes in. So we'll get this from another angle, and we'll notice the referee. They do a good job here rolling with their quarterback, who's not really threatened. So they're able to look past their quarterback, and they're also able to pick up this foul. So we get 2 flags on this play. Great job by this crew. So this is an interesting play for a couple of reasons. First, we got it at the 15-yard line. I'll tell you that it's 1st and 10 from the 15. We can't see that from this angle, but we'll see another angle where we see that. So there's been a lot of talk about what the back judge should do, because typically they're going to give up the goal line and go to the end line once the ball's inside the 20. But with the new mechanics this year, there's been some question about that. This very well could be a running team as well. But no matter what, the back judge is on the goal line here. And as this play develops, we'll notice the run up the middle. And the offensive player is certainly going to appear to threaten the goal line. So we have the back judge in excellent position. They are starting to square to the line. They're getting ready to put their whistle in their mouth. And they're in excellent position to rule on this play. And notice that this player is down before crossing the goal line. So they're in excellent position. Remember I told you that this was 1st and 10 from the 15. So we know that this is a first down. So what we'd like to do is see the back judge step into the field of play and confidently kill the clock, indicating to everyone that they have the runner down short of the goal line. Now, if this was more of a goal to go situation, same thing, but we like to have one arm up. But crisp, clean mechanics can certainly help sell the call. And in this case, we get a little signal almost as like it's an incomplete pass or the try was no good. And this definitely brings in some doubt and it appears some uncertainty by the official as to their call. But they were in great position and made a great call. So be confident in that call and use crisp, clean mechanics to help sell that. And just here's another angle of this where we can see this is a first down. Just step into the field of play and kill the clock. So let's talk about defenseless receiver. Again, it's a point of emphasis, and we saw some on punt returns earlier. But this is on a pass play, and this is a situation where the crew passes on this one. And this is a pretty obvious hit against a defenseless receiver. And what we're going to see here is that we have 3 officials who can see this. We notice the umpire who is spinning with the pass. The back judge is in excellent position. And we're going to have the line judge who's coming down the line after the pass has crossed the line of scrimmage. And watch the contact here against that player. So remember, for this to not be a foul for a hit against a defenseless receiver, there's 3 exceptions. Did the player wrap up? Was there use of open hands? Or was it coincidental contact because of a play on the ball? Obviously, in this situation, we have none of those 3. There is certainly no attempt to wrap up. There's no play on the ball, and there's no use of open hands. This is a clear foul for unnecessary roughness against a defenseless receiver. So again, our goal of 1 rule, 1 mechanic, and 1 interpretation is really important here, because we want to make sure that we're setting up the crew for the next week that has this team for success. There's an old adage in officiating that we shouldn't fish in someone else's pond, but on a play like this, either the umpire or the line judge who saw this, they should definitely throw a flag on this. This was a big miss, and we can't miss this type of call this year. So let's talk about blocks below the waist. I apologize for the crude free blocking zone here. Certainly not drawn to scale, but just as a reminder that all players must be on the line of scrimmage and in the free blocking zone at the time of the snap, and the action must be immediate for a block below the waist to be legal. And on the screen here, it says by the offense. It's also true of the defense. So all players, again, on the line of scrimmage and in the free blocking zone at the time of the snap, and the action must be immediate. So let's watch the left tackle here. So both the left tackle and the defensive end are certainly on the line of scrimmage and in the free blocking zone at the time of the snap. And it doesn't get much more immediate than that. So we're going to see a flag come in here for a block below the waist, but this is a legal play. We should not have a flag on this. Now, if we compare that to this next clip, we're going to see the defensive end who was in the free blocking zone and on the line of scrimmage, crossed the line of scrimmage and now is in the backfield. But the running back was clearly not either in the free blocking zone, was not on the line of scrimmage, and this is certainly not immediate at the snap. And they're going to block below the waist. So good pickup here by the referee, who does catch this. This is a safety foul, and we want this one called. Now, we don't always have blocking below the waist by the offense. Sometimes it's by the defense. And this is just one of 5 clips from this game where the highlighted player here is going to cut an offensive player low. So if we look at this formation here, it's sloppy at best, but let's give the benefit of the doubt and say the right guard and right tackle are on the line of scrimmage. They are staggered back, and that's an indicator that they're going to pull. So, we should just be aware of that, especially if we're the center judge, because they might be coming our way, or if we're the line judge, it's likely that these players are coming our way. And what we'll notice here is that 55 for the defense cuts number 75 for the offense. And again, this is just one of 5 clips from this game. Unfortunately, we didn't pick this one up. And this is a safety foul. And the fact that this player does it 5 times in one game, it's likely that they're potentially being coached to that. And so we want to make sure that we catch this and clean this up, because that is a dangerous play. Similar to this play as well, we're going to see 23 of the offensive team come across the formation after the snap, and they get cut by a member of the defense. So the member of the defense was in the free blocking zone and on the line of scrimmage at the snap. However, number 23 is not obviously on the line of scrimmage, and the action is certainly not immediate. So hard for the center judge maybe to pick this up because they have a lot going on. They've got 3 players to keep track of. But the wing really doesn't have much to look at here, and this definitely should have been picked up by either one of them. Again, 23 was in a position here where they could have really gotten hurt. So let's pay attention to that this week as we work our games. And that's the last clip that we're going to share for this week. So I appreciate your time. Again, if you have any questions about any of the interpretations, please reach out to Kevin Hatfield. If you have a clip that you'd like to share, either send it to your video coordinator or email it to the PFOA vc@gmail.com and just send in the association, game, and clip number. Thank you for your time, and good luck with your games this week.